Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of our Kentum playthrough. We're now at episode 15 we are at. A lot of stuff going on today. I unlock a whole bunch of new tech, and we finally unlock the Kentum cube. We're going to also try our hands at beating the boss in the underground caverns, the lightning boss. And fail. I didn't die though, but I did fail. I ran away with my tail between my legs. I thought, I have the new attack. I got this. Yeah, I did have it. I was doing good until I was doing well. I'm sorry, until the damn thing started releasing lightning bolts from the sky, and that kind of, made everything a little bit harder than I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, we're gonna unlock fauna, and we're going to go explore the hive and really take a little deep dive down into the hive. I know he said we were going to dive into the trash jungle after, uncovering that area that you can go across, and that was pretty fun. And however, the next step of the crafting tree process requires quite a lot of the mucilage and requires some other things, so I had to go over there to farm stuff out. So here I'm back. I am back, just collecting some items, and I said to myself, you know what, I think I can do this. I think I can take on this boss and do well. Now you've heard me say that sometimes my own hubris has been my downfall, and this is definitely I didn't have a downfall. I like the charging though of the strong attack. It's so much easier. See, I don't have to, it doesn't take long for me to charge my attack and beat those guys, and I can really quickly run away. So yeah, this guy, I get the feeling that I should have fought him in a different area because my strong attack just wasn't landing. But now you can use a hook shot, and I think that's what those things are there for, right? To propel you up to be able to hit the creature. However, I noticed that my damage is really low still. Right? Like I'm not able to get much of hits in before he starts. Also, I kept doing that. That was just because of the direction of the hook shot. The hook shot doesn't take you in the direction, it kept taking me to the left. I guess I should have gotten underneath it and tried to jump up in order to be able to do damage. There we go. That's kind of what I should have been doing, but I was kind of freaking out a little bit because I did take a bunch of damage and I didn't want to die. And the lightning started happening, so I said, okay, well, just, let's try to figure this out and get the ball rolling. So I was doing okay, in my opinion. I had the boss down half health, but then I took a couple of lightning hits. Quirky apples are really good to have on you, by the way, as a small source of healing. They do heal a little bit, and it's kind of nice. And here's where it started getting kind of funky doodles. Look at that. Lightning. I just, not okay. Not okay. I don't expect to be fighting lightning underground. I'm not sure if that was... I'm pretty sure that's an effect of the boss, but I couldn't. That was not going to happen. Not when you have all these, the smaller ads coming at you, and then the boss throwing lightning at you, and then no. I said, okay, I peaced out. I said, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm sure that with enough potions, I'll be fine next time. I also did increase my health in later episodes, not today. But I will have some tips for you once we go into the hive, because it's kind of important. The game doesn't tell you you've unlocked it. And you have to go back and check your cognitive fluid making machine in order to realize that you're able to craft cognitive fluid type C after you scan one of the spores in the hive. So I'll mention that in the next episode too, and that'll be the title. I'm just mentioning it now because it's one of the things that I was quite confused about. I didn't know where to get the recipe. And it turns out you get it automatically when you scan things, but the game doesn't tell you. So that was kind of a, you know, a little bit of an asterisk I saw there that I needed to mention. I did unlock the next level of dish stack, which was actually really, really good. Stacking my food is great and takes up so much less of my space. The only thing I'm going to mention in regards to the dish stack is that you have to be careful with spoilage, because your spoilage doesn't show up. Ideally, the most spoiled food would be consumed first, but I did some testing and that's not always the case. So I'm not sure how to, you know, get around that problem. Maybe what I have to do is individually put those items back into storage and then put them back into my bag in a certain order, but I feel like that shouldn't be the case. I feel like that shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't need to do that. But I pass it along to you, you know, keep in mind that, yeah, the spoilage gets kind of wonky because you have 3 or 4 of the same type of food, and, you know, you can't really tell if something's going to spoil or not. Just what you're seeing is the spoilage of the first item. So the next thing we have is fauna research, and that's super easy to get. I just need a piece of glass. I already have the cognitive fluid, and glass can be made in the kiln. Remember, we unlocked glass in yesterday's episode, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I went out to farm a little bit to be able to get the materials to get the glass, and then I just really quickly make the glass, wait, then I can unlock my... So now let's talk about fauna research. I haven't tested this out. It unlocks Vivarium. Remember I talked about this? I was like, I don't know what Vivarium is. Well, now I know what it is. So this actually sets down a trap, and you can trap creatures. So I unlocked that too. You unlock it in the workbench, and you unlock both when you unlock the trap. So I had enough cognitive fluid, and now I know where cognitive fluid C is, so there you go. You can trap creatures and keep them there at your base in order to keep collecting material off of them. I don't know if you can keep killing them and then they respawn. I'm not sure. I'm going to probably test that in the next couple of episodes to see what that does. Then I unlocked the cooking stove, and I was going to go try to read what's going on with the cooking stove and how the gas cooking works, but I couldn't build it, so, you know, I kind of said, okay, whatever, I'm not going to do it. I did build later on in another episode an extractor drill, and I'm using it to mine silica because there are no silica things you can smash with your staff, so you have to mine it. Heads up, for the next phase of cognitive fluid, you need to unlock the seed synthesizer. Okay, I didn't know this, but the seed synthesizer allows you to unlock the next step of being able to plant the spores and the other plants that you're going to need that you currently can't. So you've seen I've collected the mucilage seeds, and I'm like, where the heck do I plant these? You need to unlock the game doesn't tell you, but that's what you need to do. You need to unlock that next step in order to be able to plant those seeds and the spores. The spores are super important. So here I go, off to the hive, and I'm gonna go here for a couple of reasons. One is the small little creatures that you find in the hive drop the small bones, which allow me to make the cubes. So that was number one, the reason I wanted to go here. The other reason is I wanted to collect more mucilage. The big creatures carry it on their backs. The ones that have the shields, those big yellow shields, that's all cubed mucilage. And you can find ceramic here on certain creatures as well, on their backs. And that's what they have. So this is a good place for farming those items, the next level of materials, and that's the way the game is designed, right? The first set of materials you need for progression are in underground caverns, but here you have the next set of materials. So this is an area we've been to before, but I kind of pieced out really quickly because I was dying. But now I feel a lot more confident about my ability to traverse and do things. One day I will figure out why the heck some of those things hurt me and some of them don't. The ones with one spike hurt me. The ones with... There we go, see? That's the one I'm talking about. That shield allows you to have the mucilage, which is really good. I think the game does a good job so far of letting you know, okay, well, you gotta go here now, right? Like, if you can figure out my next area that I need to explore and be at is this place, because yes, these enemies do drop what I need, and I'm able to... Oh, this was hilarious. So you already know that the stuff goes away, but look what happens if I kill it, right? I pick up an osseous cube, and I pick up a cube mucilage, which are the things that I needed. So yeah, like I said, this area is good for the next phase of crafting. These are the silica veins. I'm not picking any up right now because I don't have the drill on me. That's next episode. And this place, as far as I know, is the only place you can pick up gold, which is right there. That's gold. I haven't found the gold anywhere else in my exploration. Not in the trash jungle anyway. But this place is a maze. Those things, you cannot kill them until they stop spinning, by the way. I learned that the hard way. And you have to defeat what I could have been doing in retrospect. And I could have been using my shield probably to block them. I keep forgetting I have it because I use the hook shot so much that I keep forgetting I have the shield, and I think the shield probably comes in handier than I think in this area, and I have to remind myself that I need to, use it more often. You'll also find in this area some egg sacs that you should also be scanning. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to explore. It's really big, the hive. It's huge. I've gone in there twice now, exploring, and I honestly have not. For example, I haven't run into there's supposed to be a boss here. If you check the Steve achievements, there's a boss here, and I haven't run into it yet, even though I've traversed quite a bit. So there's a lot of things to do and see and collect. Bring food, obviously. Bring health, especially for those guys right there that just tend to whoop you pretty bad if they hit you. I wish there was a way to prevent stunlock in this game. And so what I mean by that is sometimes those big creatures or some of the smaller creatures, when they hit you, you kind of stagger, right? But then you stagger into another creature, and that creature hits you, and you stagger back to the other one, and then you're just stunlocked, which is pretty bananas to me. I mean, it's bananas that there's no way to avoid that, right? That I thought was cool, that these creatures actually, destroy the nodes as they're coming down. So I said, oh, okay, well, that's kind of nice. And these guys, I don't know why you can't hit them from behind. I thought you could, but it seems like you can't. And that seems like an oversight to me. Like, why can't I hit them from behind if I took off the shield, right? I don't know. It just seemed weird. This area is, I think the hive to me is one of the more interesting zones I've visited so far, much more than the jungle. The jungle was fine, but the hive has so much traversing that has to do with like platforming, right? It has a lot more platforming. The jungle and the trash jungle, we're gonna call it that. That one doesn't have as much platforming. It's more about like figuring things out of what you have to do, and the area is more wide open than the hive. The hive is more confined, so you kind of have to be on your toes a little bit more in that regard, because I think it happens to me in this episode, and I'll show you in a little bit, but when you transition from areas from the top to the bottom, so I couldn't kill this thing. I was like, what the heck? When you transition from areas from the bottom up or from the top down, there's a transition that occurs sometimes where the game loads, right? It's an issue if you're not paying attention, because you could potentially hit some enemies at the top of the area you're going to. You hit the enemies, you straight up hit them, and there's nothing that could have prevented you, since you can't see them on your mini-map. You didn't know they were there. And it happened to me that I got stunlocked a little bit and almost died. I think it was in this episode because the enemy was just there, and I wasn't able to to see it, right? And that I don't like. I think a game should definitely let you know that, there's a way to do things or not. Specifically where if you're running into these, these creatures that you can't harm, well then you gotta give me a way to know they're there, or a way to at least avoid the damage, or if I'm transitioning from one screen to the next, not having that be a big problem, right? So anyway, that's something to take into consideration next year, explore the Hive, because it does happen. It happened to me more than a couple of times. But yeah, I got a little lost. As you can see, I'm kind of going back and forth. So here's one area where you can see that can happen to you. You go down, and there's a bunch of creatures there that could potentially be blocking your path. You have to be careful. And you can't go to the side. I couldn't go to the side because I kept seeing those creatures there, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to go down, but those creatures aren't moving from there. I can't hit them from far away. So I guess I'm going somewhere else. That's basically what it came down to. Don't forget there's a fast travel spot here that we're going to actually need later. So there you go. There's your spores. Fungal nodes. There it is. You need that to unlock cognitive fluid type C. There it is. It did tell me. I was just not paying attention. Oh my god, I keep doing that. I think it just happened so fast in my game that I was doing something else, right? And so I couldn't see what had happened with the fungal fluid type C. But I know now that unlocks it. So there you go, everybody. If you're looking for cognitive fluid type C, just scan a fungal plant in this area of the Hive. I guess the game does tell you, albeit, like I said, really briefly. I wish it kind of paused everything and made a big more of a fanfare about it. That way I wasn't, oh yeah, it's no big deal. You unlocked it. No, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal unlocking this stuff. Look at this guy. Look at these guys. What the heck, dude? So many of them. The good news is you can grab their things. Same problem. I can grab their things and fling it at them. So that's not the end of the world. I thought it was great. I think this is the part where I started getting unlocked, and so you guys will be able to see what happened to me. I think I did make it out though. I didn't die. In another episode, a couple of other episodes I've played, yeah, I did die. It just happens, right? I think I saw somebody on the Discord say that they're gonna they beat the game, they beat Kentum, and they're gonna try to do it without dying, just one clone, and that's it. I'm like, that's a pretty cool challenge. There's a pretty good challenge. That's a good challenge. There's also a hard mode that you can play in that gets the enemies do more damage and you do less damage. But there we go. After much farming, our Kent cube is now operational, and we can visit different areas now of the map. All over the map. This opens up the entirety of the world to us. We're able to explore those small crevices we weren't able to before. Very excited about that. Very excited about that. So I might as well also unlock, like I said, the next step, which I think was catalysis I need to get. So there's your cognitive fluid type C. At this point, I believe I didn't know I had unlocked it because I didn't see it on my screen. So I was like, well, there it is, the fungal plant. But guess what the fungal plant does allow you to do? It allows you to unlock more health. Yeah, that's right. Fungal plants allow you to unlock more health. There it is, resilience. And I have the potions. So I said, perfect. So that means I need to go back to the Hive and do some farming for the fungal plants, right? That's my next, it's going to be a little bit of my next video, and explore some more of the Hive. And you guys are going to see that too. As well as, the cognitive fluid type C and all that kind of stuff. As I start crafting it, it requires a lot more than cognitive fluid type B, which is obvious. It does require the yeast and it requires other stuff. But now I wanted to unlock the soil irrigation. Man, and the soil manipulation. Those are the two that I really wanted to unlock next. Irrigation is necessary, 100%. And not you're spending all your time watering plants, which is really boring. And manipulation, increasing the yield. I already did it once, and you can see how much more materials I have, especially like stuff like sticks. I think it's a good idea to try to unlock that one as quick as you can. because it increases the yield of your plants like drastically, exponentially. Because instead of 1, you're getting 2, and that's 100% more. So yeah, let's pass it along to you. Make sure to unlock that as quick as you can, because more yield from plants actually is a huge, huge deal in this game. That way you don't have to have as many farm plots and watering plants all the time. So yeah, that's we're getting near the end of the episode. We did a lot today, holy moly. And then I finally unlocked Orc Companion. I had the fluid, so I said I'll do it. What it does, I think, is that it allows you to scan multiple things at once. And then it allows you to scan things from further away, and it allows you to scan things faster if you're having that sort of a problem. I'm not really having that problem, so I'm not going to do it. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you're having a blast. Let me know in the comments how you're doing with Kentum, and I'll see you on the next one.